Good morning. This is Mark Soderberg with ADM Investor Services with your morning ag outlook for Thursday, April the 11th. Choppy mixed trade overnight and what's going to be a very busy news day. We just got out the CONAB production forecast for Brazil. I'll go over those in just a moment. Corn right now is up 1 to 2 cents. Soybean prices 3 to 4 lower. Wheat prices down 3 to 5, let's call it, across all three classes. Soybean products are mixed, up $1 in the meal, while soybean oil is down 70 to 75 points. In addition to CONAB numbers, we get export sales and PPI data at 7:30, while USDA estimates come out at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. CONAB today, they did lower their Brazilian corn production forecast about 1.8 million metric tons to 111. That is well below the USDA forecast from March at 124. I do look for a lower number from the USDA later today. CONAB's export forecasts are only looking for 31 million metric tons being exported, while the USDA is still way up at 52. CONAB, very little change to their soybean production forecast at down to 146.5, down from 146.85 last month. USDA was at 155 last month. So far, not a big reaction in the marketplace. Obviously, a lot of other data out later today. In the U.S., we've had some heavy rains finally moved out of the U.S. Gulf Coast and U.S. Delta region here. 3-day rainfall totals are approaching a foot in some areas, which will produce some localized flooding. Expect significant planting delays and the likelihood for some replanting that will need to be done as well. Heat will be building across the western Corn Belt, gradually shifting east over the course of this coming weekend and into much of next week. Look for good planting progress in the western Corn Belt through the early to middle part of next week. Some areas of the far western Corn Belt, however, in southern plains have been missing out on recent rain activity, so I would look for some deterioration in crop ratings, winter wheat crop ratings next week. Weather in South America does remain mostly supportive for crop development. Dry areas in Mato Grosso do Sul and Paraná in southwestern and south central parts of Brazil are expecting some relief from recent dryness this weekend and into next week. This should provide a decent boost to their second corn crop as it moves along. And we are coming up to the end of the monsoonal season here by late in the month of April. Yesterday, the Rosario Grain Exchange, they slashed their Argentine production forecast 6.5 million metric tons to 50.5 million metric tons. This following the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange also lowering their production forecast last week to 52 million metric tons. Both exchanges are well below the USDA estimate. Disease pressures from this year's crop are been the blame for the recent production cuts. The Buenos Aires Grain Exchange, the Rosario Grain Exchange did hold their soybean production forecast unchanged at 50 million metric tons, which matches the USDA estimate. So demand for U.S. corn remains strong. We do look for a 75 million bushel drop in ending stocks today to just under 2.1 billion bushels, mostly from higher feed usage and usage for ethanol. Look for a modest cut to exports, however, with declining production figures in South America. I suspect, I wouldn't be shocked if the USDA held off this month. Look for slightly higher ending stocks in the soybeans as exports are expected to fall a little bit, but offset a little bit with higher crush and higher wheat stocks through a combination of lower feed usage and exports. So mixed trade to start off with. Stay tuned for all of today's data, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.